Good morning, good morning. Happy Thursday. Good morning, good morning. Today is Thursday, July 16th. Ben Rose, good morning. Good luck to you as well. I am in my second trade of the morning, currently. We had the news at 7:30 a.m. Central. I'll walk through my trades really quick here. We had before the news, we had a Delta cross to the upside. So at that point, I was bullish, so I was looking for longs. I didn't really have a clear long right before the news, so I didn't take anything right there. And then we came down, we ticked up from the green zone with this rising delta. And I noticed that we touched this order block right here and reacted off of that. And we pushed up here and the delta still kept rising. So it was a little bit of a falling knife grab that I did right here. We had this order block, so we pushed up, delta still rising, and we had the anchored VWAP, which had confluence with the top of this order block here. So I went ahead and put a limit order in there and got a nice bounce. I targeted the high, so I got 35 and a quarter on that one. And then basically the same type of entry. We have this order block right here. And I saw this reaction off the anchored VWAP in that order block when the signal was in this lower power zone. And we know it likes to bounce from the power zones. So it was a little bit of an early entry. I could have taken the tick up from the power zone. That would have got me in right here. But I just went ahead and put my limit order at the top of that order block and snagged along there. So that's what I'm currently in. And I'm targeting this order block up here. If we can get it, unless I get an exit signal. Can't talk today. An exit signal before then. Then I'll enter early, or I'm sorry, exit early. Man, I need some more coffee today. That order block also had confluence with the previous day high, which is sitting here at 452.75. So far, so good. We got the delta rising nicely. We got the confirmation line still headed up. So should still be looking for longs there. On the higher time frames, we'll go ahead and look at those really quick. Yeah, we got that set to the 15-minute. I forgot we changed that yesterday. So in the 15-minute, we're actually a little bit bearish. So go ahead and flip this to bearish. We got the 5-minute sitting over here. And the 5-minute is also bearish at the moment. And then yesterday we were experimenting with putting a 3-minute down here. So we got the 3-minute sitting here. And the 3-minute is bullish, so we'll go ahead and leave that there. And now we wait. Yeah, those order block entries, those are not in the playbook, but the playbook entry is right here. This tick up from that lower power zone with the rising confirmation line. So again, if you're following the playbook, that would have had you in right here at the close of that 811 candle. Jawaz, you're late. Yeah, you missed a little bit of a filet mignon there. You left it all for myself. Good morning, Patrick. I don't know if you were here when I was explaining my first trade of the day. I suppose I can go through it again really quick. We had this delta confirmation line cross here at 7:15. So at that point I was bullish. I was looking for a long. We had the news at 7:30, but didn't really have a clear entry signal. I could have entered long in this order block right here, but I marked it out. I did notice that we reacted off of it. I was looking for a tick up more in this green zone here, but it was like right on the borderline. So I didn't enter on there. But after we pushed up a little bit, we still had this rising delta. I went ahead and put a limit order on this candle body consolidation here, which had confluence with the anchored VWAP. That's that orange line. So I just went ahead and threw a limited order on there and got snagged on that one and targeted this high, which ended up working out pretty darn good. I guess you can't ask for better than that. And then this next entry was kind of the same thing. It was I noticed that the power zone entry was coming, so it was more of an early power zone entry. But again, we reacted off that anchored VWAP. We had this order block sitting here, so I just threw a limit order on the top of there and got snagged up. Crypto had a pretty darn good night last night. Go over to my XRP trade. Still in this XRP trade, sitting at about 43% right now. About an hour or so ago, we just took out the previous high from 2018 that I had marked out. So I would expect there to be some people trying to take profit here, or we might just fly right by it. But that trade has been a goodie. These others have been doing pretty good as well. Not as good as that one, but pretty good. This XLM trade's been pretty good too. That's sitting at about 18% right now. And my bots are handling all of that, so I'm not trading that manually. I just track it manually. All right, we've had a tick down from this upper power zone, but that delta still looks relatively strong. Not quite made it to this order block yet. We also have a fair value gap sitting in here. And it's looking to fill. Good morning, Raphael. Delta starting to turn down a little bit, but it's still fairly strong and positive, so I'm going to hang in here. It's 8:26. We got the open here in 4 minutes. So I might want to exit before then. We just had a close under that 8 SMA. So that would be the first take profit point. But again, I don't really scale out. I'm more of a all in, all out type of guy. So looking for more of a definitive exit signal. All right, now we're starting to show a little bit of exhaustion in the delta. It's just flashing. Got about 1 minute here till the open. Hoping to get a little bit of a pop here. Hit my take profit, hopefully. We do have a bull flag breakout setup here. Not a huge fan of those, but it is a setup. Market is open. Still in this trade. I got a feeling it's might gonna be something I regret staying in here. We'll see. I'm gonna use the 20 as my line in the sand. If we close under the 20, I'm pulling it. And it would figure that it would do that at the open. Wow. And I'm out. So, lost quite a bit of profit on that one. Out here at 654.50. Sorry, 64. 64.50. And of course now it's going to burn right back up there. That's all right. It's still a winner. 8 1/4 on that. There we go. Well, that kind of sucks. I was hoping we were going to get a pop to the upside instead of the downside. I was thinking about getting out right before the open, but what kept me in was we were getting a little bit of that bull flag breakout, which is another setup. So the clear exit was definitely this delta squeeze we got right there, but that was the opening candle. Good morning, K. John. Now we're dropping. It did put in that delta squeeze for a short. I could have went short there. Probably would have got, let's see if I would have got stopped out had I flipped. Oh yeah, I would have got stopped out because that candle's just too big. But if you put your order on the 8, that probably would have been just fine. That would have been perfect. It's also worth noting that we did have a lower high on the 3 right before that happened. At 824, that printed. $15-minute is starting to put in a lower high on the signal. Yeah, those delta candles are fat now. Isn't that crazy how the market opens and it's like a whole different animal? It's like a whole different market. Got the daily open sitting down here at 386.25. What else we got below? Nothing really that I can see. It did fail to take out the previous low, but I think we might be working on that. Maybe. ATR sitting at a 62, which is not a bad number. It's pretty good, actually. It's kind of right there in the sweet spot. We have the confirmation line starting to roll over, but it's rolling over fairly abruptly, so I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of go into a little bit of a range here. You know, when it's more of like see how like back here, it kind of gradually rolls over, and then it gradually kind of turns back up. You can usually trust the signals more when it's more gradual like that. When it's abrupt like this, a lot of times we just go into a range. Then that confirmation line will usually come down here and kind of hover and just go sideways near the midline. So we'll see if that happens. Watch for it anyway. But so far, that delta is really fat and thick. So I'm going to assume at this point that we're going to keep going lower until it starts to thin out. There's your impulsive move breakout entry right there at 837. I just went ahead and took a short on the 8 because it did print that entry there. I'm in at 432.50. I might regret this one. We'll see. Needs to stay under the 8 though. Closes above, I'm gonna pull it. Oh, it was like right there. It was right on the line. Of course it would do that to me. Back to the anchored VWAP. Yeah, it's putting in that higher low on the signal now. Hopefully the bears can push her back down. I got a feeling I'm going to get stopped out. Yep, it just took me. If it wouldn't have closed on the line, I think I would have been safe there. But I held on one candle too long. Reason why I entered short on the 8 was because this delta candle right here at 837, it was fatter than the one prior, just prior to that. And we got a tick down below an aggressively falling delta. So I thought we were at least going to come back down and take out this low right here. And, you know, entering on the 8 is usually safer than entering on the candle close far from the 8. But I still got ran over. They don't all work. That ATR number is going to start crawling up here. It's up to a 75 right now. We haven't done our news check today. Let's go ahead and see if there's any more news coming up. Got to refresh the page here because the news expired. Looks like the next one is at 8 p.m. So nothing else today. Tomorrow we have retail sales for GBP. Building permits for USD at 7:30. But not a whole lot tomorrow. Still bullish on the 3-minute. We're flashing a tick up from that lower power zone over there. It's not confirmed. It was just flashing. But we're still bearish on the 5 and the 15. K. John says, yesterday was a big day up. I expect to have chop until after the European close. Seems to get better. I would not disagree with that. Pushing down pretty hard again here. Got a nice big fat delta candle. Does seem like we're going to take out that low. Looks like my timing was just a little off on that one. I was in too early. We are chopping the 8, which can be used as a chop indicator too. Do got a little chop on the delta right here. We did take out that low. Got some confluence with this lower trend line at the daily open. On the 5 minute there, we also have this order block down here. I should go ahead and mark out. And we just kissed that trend line. Got the daily open sitting here at 386.25. See if we get a bounce there. Just hit the daily open. Delta's looking pretty strong to the downside still. We're about to tap into that 5 minute order block. Delta's still pretty heavy. Just tapped into that 5 minute block. Might find support here. We did get a tick up from that lower power zone, but the delta's still heavy, so I would not take that long yet. ETR is a little high now. We're sitting at a 84. Got to widen those stops up a little bit or size down. We got that 3-minute ticking up from that lower power zone now. It's not official yet. We are getting a little bit of a bounce from that order block. We have closed above the 8 SMA. Delta starting to taper and turn up. Delta's still pretty heavy though. We have not turned positive yet. There's our 8 SMA retest. And we closed under. Barely, but it was under. Delta is now turning positive. Getting a little bit of a delta squeeze set up here. It's not official. Still kind of chopping that 8. Delta's feeling more heavy again. All right, now we are flashing that delta squeeze setup. Turning positive here. And I just went long there. Long at 21,404. Still chopping that 8. We are taking back down. Delta's starting to turn negative again. And I got stopped out. So that delta squeeze was not a good one. You know, I say this a lot, but when you have all that space in between the delta and the confirmation line, those delta squeezes don't work as well as the ones where they're actually squeezing more together near the power zone. So ideally, you want this line to come down and start to converge with the delta down here. So maybe I should just stop taking those unless they're closer to converging near a power zone. Yep, and now we are dropping hard again. But you know, one of the reasons why I had more confidence in that one is because we did have that order block bounce. We were at the daily open. We were at this trend line. So there was quite a bit of confluence there, but it just didn't work. I could have taken that lower high short right there, because usually if that fails, it's usually a good short in the other direction. Where'd that tick down occur? That was on the candle that I got stopped out. So yeah, there was like no drawdown if I would have just went short there. Looks like Bitcoin is having a little bit of a pullback here. After getting back to 100K, it put in a delta squeeze for short on Bitcoin, so that could get a little ugly. Crypto bots are doing well. Maybe after this drop, this trade's not gonna look all that great, but oh yeah, my ETH trade has been falling apart. I'm almost to break even on that. But these others are still in the profit. Maybe not for long. This one was an ad. It just turned right around right after I got in. Yeah, looks like probably going to want to start exiting some of those. Whoa. Check out NQ. Well, that was quite the turnaround. What news was that? ETR's at a 97 now. Got a high ATR, we got a choppy delta. Not great trading conditions at the moment. Market's starting to go a little Crazy here. Do we have more news? See, the price is really bouncing. I mean, like up and down a lot on the same candle. Usually does that during news. It does kind of feel like we're trying to turn to the upside. Delta is turning up. It is starting to turn positive. It's really thin, though. Delta is definitely turning up now. Positive. Made it back to the anchored VWAP. Wicked to it a couple times. Looks like we're on our third try. We just ticked down from the power zone. Somewhat of a weak delta, but it looks like it's about to cross the confirmation line. So not too interested in going short there. But maybe I should have. Delta's really weak. We closed under the 8, got a tick down from that upper power zone. It was a short setup, but I passed on it. Looks like I should have taken it. Back down to that 5-minute order block. Delta and confirmation line are starting to get closer together and potentially converge here. So if we get a tick up in the green zone and that delta is positive or really thin, I might go ahead and take that long. Just trying to anticipate the next move. But if it stays really weak negative and starts to roll back over like it's trying to do right now, we start to put in more of a negative slope on that, and we print a lower high, then I will take that short. We're still bearish on the 3-minute and the 5, so that would make sense. And the 15, or yeah, that's the 15. That 8 SMA entry was beautiful on that last one. So it gave us the short signal that ticked down from that upper power zone with a very weak and thin delta. Then we closed under the 8, pulled back to the 8, and right there, I should have just threw a limited order on that, but I was too slow. That was a beautiful entry. Let's see how far it would have ran on that one. Would have got 31 points on it. It went 38 3/4. Well, there's our higher low from the green zone. It's barely in the green zone. Here's our choppy delta again. Starting to put in a lower high, but it's right there at the midline. Not a big fan of those. This tick up above this mostly rising delta is a long. I wish it would have came down and got closer to the delta first. So I went ahead and threw a limit order on this candle body consolidation. See if I could get picked up here. The thin spotty delta, it is a little risky to trade this mess, but I'm gonna give it a shot. If I could even get picked up. I think I might have missed the boat on that one. Good morning, Jason. I did have my limit order sitting right here, but I canceled it. Looks like I would have got picked up right there. I should have kept it on there. That would have been a good entry. Well, we did get our Delta confirmation line cross. Kind of a mess, though. Delta's still pretty weak looking, but it's thin, so it's not really bearish or bullish. So you're walking on thin ice trying to trade the signals on that. What you can try to do is trade these order blocks. That still works decently in chop like this. Kind of like what I did this morning with these entries over here. But this thing is still kind of a mess. No fun to trade. Schroden, I hear you. You know, pre-market is usually a lot easier to trade. once New York opens, you got to put your advanced trading hat on, at least for the first couple hours. Yeah, there really is no direction. You can see it in the delta. It's times like these when sometimes I start forcing trades that aren't there. I got to get better about not doing that. Schroden, personally, I found that pre-market is usually good from about 7 a.m. Central until 8:30. Um, there are times though when things usually kick into gear a bit earlier, like 5 a.m. 5 to 7 can be good. Not good enough for me to get out of bed that early. Delta's back under the confirmation line now. And it does look like it might be getting a little bit more consistent. So maybe it is going to continue trying to push to the downside potentially. That would be more in line with the higher time frames. Yeah, about 8 a.m. Eastern. It's usually a hard time for me because I'm getting my youngest daughter ready for school and I got to get her on the bus. So I'm like, when I'm doing that, I'm usually popping in and out of the office and I'll jump in a trade or two if I can. If it's a big news day, I usually try to sit in here for that. But that's a little bit of advanced trading too when you're trying to get a 6-year-old dressed and put on trades at the same time. I do it. It's not always easy. Well, that move down didn't last very long. Back to chopping. You know, at this point, it looks like we're just building a wedge here. And I don't like those. I would much rather trade a broadening formation than a wedge. Because with wedges, it just, the moves get smaller and smaller as it progresses, but with broadening formations, it's the opposite. Moves get bigger and bigger as it progresses. Well, maybe this is a good time to get some more coffee, and then maybe the market will do something. Be right back. We did put in another lower high here in the green zone with the falling delta. That would be a potential short, but it's not really a super great setup. That would have been short from here. Let's see if we could have got 31 points out of it, maybe. Let's see if it takes out this low. That'd be 37 3/4. But again, we got lower high, another lower high with a falling delta. Could maybe get a little scalp out of that. So far it went 24 points. Yeah, what is price doing today, Jay Waz? See what the 15 looks like. Ooh. Yeah, we did take out that low over here. It looks kind of bearish. Would you look at that? We came right down on the bottom of this trend line, and that's where we bounced. Trying to bounce anyway. Here we go. Got that tick up from that lower power zone. That could have been a long if you're looking at this as a range. Power zone to power zone is the way to trade it. Your entry would have been here, 937. So far that's run 40 points. Still not great though. The 3 minute, we got a little bit of a delta squeeze setup going on. On the 5, we're flashing one. It's not official. On the 15, we got a higher low from that lower power zone. So it does appear that we do want to push up, even though those are all technically bearish. I'm going to throw a limit order down here on this little candle body consolidation. And I just got wicked in. Can it hold above? If not, I'm going to pull the plug. Pull up, pull up, pull up. And I'm out. All right, well. Small loss there. 4.25 points. Oops, I did that wrong. There we go. Well, on that one, I was hoping it would come down and tag me in on that little consolidation and be in at the end of a wick. But if it's not a wick, I'm not interested. More chop. Our time frames are still pointed down at the moment. If we end up putting in a lower high here on the signal, I might go ahead and just take that short. We're sitting there under the 20 still. Yeah, good point, JWAS. It's making lower highs too on the price. Delta is just very weak and negative. So the bulls are like, they're not here. So we're going to start making lower highs on the signal. Might as well try to jump in with the current. Here we're starting to flash one right now. Got about 30 seconds. And I'm short. What you gonna do, market? You gonna stop me out? Let's see. From 362.50. Then I move my stop to break even here. Almost got me. There it goes. First break even of the day. Thought it was going to come down and take the low, but didn't want to do it. Let's see how far that one ran. 23 points. Smaller target would have worked. Looks like K. John was right on the money predicting the market condition today. So, okay, John, when's the market supposed to turn on? 10 o'clock Central? 10:30? Yeah, smaller targets seem to be where it's at. Like, there's winners in here, but you got to have small targets. Starting to see a little bit of life there in the delta. We're about to have another confirmation line cross. Delta's getting a little thicker. It does still seem like we're going to try to push up here. And you know how I was talking about earlier, how the confirmation line is usually like this sweeping turn. It's never abrupt. It's usually sweeping like that. You know, here it was kind of abrupt how it turned down. And right after it did that, I said, well, it usually means that you're going into a range, which we did. I didn't think it was going to be this choppy. But it does look like confirmation line is going to turn up. And the buyers will be back into control. Also breaking our trend line over here. The 10 o'clock candle is coming in 2 minutes. So we'll see if we get the hourly flip at 10 o'clock. Still bullish on the hourly. The signal is in the green zone on the hourly. So if we get a tick up there, that would be bullish. Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. Looking at the 5-minute right now, we do have that nasty looking consolidation on the 5, but we are trying to break out to the upside. We're back to VWAP. Delta is looking strong again. So it does appear that the 10 o'clock candle is going to wake things up. Okay, John says, if we stay above 21,393 on a 30-minute basis, I would look for more longs than shorts. 21,393. Where's that? Yeah, I would agree with that. It's right near the top of that consolidation. You guys always hear me talk about a tick up above a rising delta and the opposite for shorts. Here, we had a rising delta and we had a tick up right here. So that was a potential long right there. And if you took it to VWAP, you would have got 43 points. If you took it to the tick down from the power zone, you would have got 35 points. But Delta's still strong and climbing, so if you're waiting for like the full possible move, you would still be in until that Delta crosses under the confirmation line. Still moving up strong. We do have this order block to get through over here. And we have this one from the open. Well, it's good to see things start to wake back up. I can only take so much of that sideways crap. What time is the London close? Is it 10:30 or 11:30? $11:30 Eastern. We got a limit order sitting down here, just above this candle body consolidation above the 50. No, I'm sorry, that's not the 50, that's the 200. Looks like it might have been a little too low. Delta still strong. Didn't quite touch VWAP. I thought we'd at least get a touch of VWAP, but too strong. Yeah, I'm definitely not looking for shorts. Delta's strong. It's above the confirmation line. It's got a really aggressive slope to it. So as long as it has this aggressive slope, I am looking for longs. Just need a good entry. I thought I'd be able to snag one down here. I had my limit order sitting right here, but I was just too low. I thought we'd come down and tag that little block right there. Had we done that, this would have been a really great trade so far. Still got a limited order in there, but I moved it up. Still too low. Looks like we tapped into that fair value gap over there. Actually, that's not really a fair value gap. There is a long wick right there. What a boring day so far. Hopefully it gets better here pretty soon. Still got my limit order sitting in there. Almost got tagged in. Looks like I still might be too low. Now I'm tagged in for sure. I'm in at 441.50. Oh, shoot. Sucker better pull up here. We did close under the 20, which is not what I was hoping to see. Come on, move back up there. See how the delta just abruptly changed negative? Usually doesn't do that. So I'm just going to pull it here at break even. So I'm out of that trade. It might still move up, but the fact that we closed under the 20 And we closed inside this consolidation here. I'm just no longer interested, so another break even on the board. Now we touched VWAP. I think that's probably what it was waiting for. Oh, shoot. Yeah. It went right to where I used to have my limit order before. Before my limit order was on this consolidation here, and look at it, just tagged it at the end of that wick. I should have just left it where it was. Maybe I can still get it here. I'm going to give it a shot. All right, I'm tagged in now. Hopefully we don't just dump here. 21,425. I doubt we would dump here. We could though. Yeah. Now it's saying, yep, we're going to dump. Now we're under the 50. And it hit my stop. Man. Look how abrupt that was. We were climbing really nice, and then we just turned negative, and it's like the opposite of a V bottom. It's a V top. I thought the VWAP would at least, the VWAP and the 200 I thought would hold it up, but I guess not. JWAS says price is banging its head on the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. The 200 SMA. Looks like we're sitting right on top of the 200 EMA. The murder algo. So obviously those two entries there were not cumulative delta entries. That's an entry style that I sometimes do once we get into a trend, but those did not work out. But I only do that in the direction of what the cumulative delta, what the overall trend is there. So in this case, delta was above the rising confirmation line. Delta was rising very significantly, so I thought I was safe. Usually you are safe in that scenario. But yeah, it just abruptly changed direction. We still have this order block here that could save the bulls. We'll see if we could stay above that. Confirmation line is still pointed up, so I'm still bullish. In the immediate short term, delta is pointed down, so there's some discrepancy there. But usually the confirmation line ends up winning that battle. Back to the daily open. That could be a bounce point. Filet mignon setup coming along. Potentially get the signal in that lower power zone. It's not quite down there, but that might be a ribeye or something. I think I'm going to take it. All right, I'm long. From 417.75. ATR is still pretty high, so my 80 tick stop might be a little small for this. Delta's still not really tapering. And it got me. So far, not really having a great day here. I think that 80 tick stop was just too small. if we put in a higher low on the signal, and if that delta is tapering down a little bit, I'll jump back in. Very weird price action today. We never really got the signal in the power zone. It was just above it, so a little, could just be a little early on this one. Nice, Jay-Waz. Good to hear. Well, you're doing better than me. All right, we got delta tapering now. We are starting to put in that higher low. Delta was flashing positive, so I think all the bears had gotten scared away. I got a limit order sitting in here. See if I can get a little bit of a discount. On the 3-minute, we're ticking up above a rising delta, which is kind of bullish. Trying to get a discount on that 8 SMA, but I might miss the train here. All right, I just jumped in. It didn't look like it was going to grab me, so I'm going to have to close that candle. 414.75. Oh, and now it would have grabbed me for sure. Come on, market, what are you doing? It's definitely taking longer to put the brakes on with that drop. Still pushing down though. Now we're looking a little better. Delta's starting to turn positive again. Starting to put in our second higher low on the signal. Come on, market. What is going on? Nasty chop. The 200 is holding it down. It's starting to look kind of bear flaggy. If we tick down here, I'm pulling the plug. If it doesn't get me first. And I'm out. Well, that was a good looking setup, but it didn't work. Minus 17.25 on that one. Well, Jay Waz, I broke your winning streak. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was a total bear flag right there. Man, that hurt. It always hurts when you get 3 losers in a row like that. Ouch. Maybe that's a sign I should hang it up. You know, it goes against all of the rules that normally work. Lame Mignon turned into a frozen White Castle burger. Totally. What a crappy trade. You know, days like this are really frustrating when it's like it consolidates like crazy. Most people lose money in that crap. And then it's got a decent run in there. So you think the market's coming back and then it turns back into nasty chop. So if you don't get the runner in between, you're kind of screwed. Unless you're trading the range like Jay was earlier. Sounds like you were doing pretty good. Salisbury steak. Yeah. Remember when they used to have Salisbury steak on the menu when I was in elementary school? Everybody hated that day. Really, Jason? You loved it, huh? Maybe they had different Salisbury steak where you're from. Well, this just keeps pushing down here. It's got me thinking we're gonna keep going lower now. I thought maybe this order block would hold, but it's not holding. We still got a falling delta. It's gaining steam. It's under the confirmation line. Starting to put in a lower high on the signal. This could be a potential short right here. It's always risky down there in the green zone, but with the way things are going, that actually might work out. Five minutes still bearish. 15 starting to put in a lower high. That's still bearish. On the 3, we got the delta going back under the confirmation lines. I'm going to flip that back to bearish. I'm going to put in a short limit order just under the 8 here. Because it just feels so heavy. And of course it drops right when I say that. It doesn't want me to get in there. Yeah, I think I missed that one. But like I said, that lower high tick down, got that aggressively falling delta. Lower high tick down right here at 1039. That was a short. I'm going to cancel that order. Now that we took out the low. What a frustrating day this has been so far. Man. That's the 5-minute chart. It's ugly. See how nice and smooth London session is? And then New York opens. Yeah, we are selling off pretty hard. Ooh, looks like XRP's not. XRP is making new highs. Trades up like 44% now. What about Bitcoin? Bitcoin decided to turn its little butt around. So that's going to be good news for my other trades. Yep, things are looking good again. You know, we did just tap into this 15-minute trend line. Which could be a potential bounce point here. Okay, John says, time for longs on NQ. This is battle line 21,320. And it's right around that trend line. Well, okay, John was right earlier. Will he be right again? Well, after all those losses, I'm kind of getting a little gun shy here. So I'm going to have to see a really good setup for me to get it back in. Speaking of, this is probably not a bad place to go short. We already wicked to it though. We're going to V bottom out of here. It's looking like it. That level did not hold. We definitely swept liquidity on the low there. Coming back into that consolidation now. Back to the 20. Got our confirmation line in the middle of the indicator. So that tells us to put our range hat on. Power zone to power zone. It's funny how that was the first tick up in the lower power zone. All of this was junk over here. And this one would have worked out great. 1043. It's run 44 points since that power zone tick up. So if you're trading power zones, it goes to show it pays to be patient. Well, at least my crypto portfolio is looking pretty darn good today. Excuse me. How my TIA is doing. How's that one going? Looks like it pulled out of it. I was getting a little worried about that one, but it's tagging back up to break even. You guys see the full moon in there? Those full moons. I don't know what it is about it, but it sure likes to pull the price up. Delta starting to rise again, getting a little stronger. Yeah, the full moon moves the tides. It definitely changes, like you said, the bite with fishing. You know, it has all these effects on nature. It makes you wonder, like, why would it not have an effect on us silly humans? Probably does something to our brains. Makes us feel a little bit more risky and optimistic about things. Gets people to jump into trades for some reason. I don't know. It's a mystery. Well, it sure is looking like it wants to make a move up here. Everything I've been doing thus far has not really worked out very well. You know, every time I get in that situation, I feel like doing something different, but that always kind of bites me in the ass if I do that. So I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to stick to the plan. Really? Okay, John says, my wife was a school teacher. The sixth graders were more rambunctious than normal during a full moon. I really do think there's something to that. There's probably some science there that still needs to be discovered. We're about to get the 11 o'clock hourly candle here in 2.5 minutes. You know, typically if it's choppy in the morning, the lunch hour and into the afternoon usually gets pretty good. So that will have me sticking around for a little bit longer here to see if things change. Still trying to push up. Back up to the 50 now. Now we're really pushing. Got the anchored VWAP here at 21,406. On a higher time frame, let's see what this looks like. With the way things are looking here on the 5-minute, I wouldn't be surprised if we go back up and take out the high. Yeah, it is a weird day. Injective. Looks like my bot just added to this position. Starting to flash it. Oh, we got a tick down from the upper power zone, but Delta's crossing confirmation line, so that's a risky one to short. It's like my bots ended up picking up a few things here. FET looks like it bought more Tia, Celestia. Well, at least the Delta has been showing some consistency. We do have that going for us now. It would appear that the chop is over. Just put in our second tick down from the upper power zone. It was a small one though, wasn't very convincing. Could be a potential short there. Reason why I say that is because the cumulative delta is showing signs of ranging. The confirmation line near the middle of the indicator. So when it's doing that, you want to trade power zone to power zone. But psychologically, that can be tough because you're always kind of going against the current. We're also above this anchored VWAP from this previous high, which is actually kind of bullish. So I still kind of think we continue moving up here. Or maybe not. Maybe that second tick down was where it was at. Delta starting to taper now. Flash negative. We did close under the 8 as well. It's going to push back up here. He did just put in a tick up above a rising delta. It's way up there in the power zone though. But the way that this is looking, kind of looks like a bull flag setup, potentially. If we break that prior wick, I might jump long here. Or maybe I shouldn't. We're right up there in the power zone. Delta still looks kind of weak. We also just put in a lower high on the signal from up there, which is not great for the bulls. So can it tick up again here? It's trying to. Delta's still weak though. We are ticking up. Delta is positive. I'm going to go long here. All right, I'm long. From 404. Delta's still pretty weak. This looks like it might be a failed breakout here. Yep. I'm just going to pull it right now. I'm out. $397. Yeah, average 397. Well, those bull flag breakouts are not doing me any favors. I was going against the original plan, which was to trade power zone, so going short in that upper power zone. JWAS, you might have gone short up there. Did you do that? What was keeping me out of it, though, was it kept getting bought up every time it sold off right there, and we had a decent-looking bull flag going on. But I guess that just goes to show the cumulative delta was right again. I questioned it. I didn't believe it. But lower high tick down right here at 1110. That's when that delta was really weak. The short should have been right here. Yeah, I know. It feels like it's been forever this morning. That's how it always feels when it's super choppy. Probably good just to walk away, Patrick. And here's the tick up that'll probably stop out all the shorts from the green zone. Delta is turning positive again. Man. I'm going to take that one. $3.98. Got the delta above the confirmation line. Tick up from the lower power zone, or not power zone, but the green zone. One of these times the rules should work, right? That is a long there. If this doesn't work, I am hanging it up for the day. All right, Jason. Good to see you're back in the green. We will hopefully see you tomorrow. Looking good on this one. Not yet. Might chop all day and shoot up the last hour. Being it's Thursday on a green weekly candle, yeah, I could see that. We are starting to put in we're flashing a higher low here on the signal, so we do have that going for the longs here, potentially. And then it just turned around, so. Not official. It almost got me there. And I'm gone. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today. That's one of my worst days in a long time. Minus 85. Time to pull the plug and go get some other work done. So good luck to all of you that decide to stick around. I am going to head out. Tomorrow's going to be a new day. And can try not to let today get to me. So good luck, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, later.
Oh, wow, look at that move. It's like one of those big Delta candles. I mean, who even trades those tiny candles anymore? I like big fat candles, I can't deny. When the Delta's green and riding high, when a chart spikes thick with a bullish wick, I'm glued to my screen, that's the trick. I want to bounce quick, can't let it go. Big Delta bars, let that volume show. I'm zooming out, yeah, that's my groove. Catching waves in a Delta move. Wanna trade slow? Nah, too tame. This market's got heat, I'm in the game. Delta skinny, not my taste. Fat candles on my happy place. Oh, traders, let me see that line. When the buyers push, I feel just fine. It's the fat move, no squeeze fake. I'm in this trend with no break. Got entries, stacking tall, no weak signals, I'm all in, y'all. Skinny candles just ain't for me. Big Delta's my golden key. Sitting tight while volume pops. Green wave up won't make me stop. Short candles, nope, they're bored. Give me fat Deltas, I want more. Like those thick moves, yeah, yeah. I wanna break through. Don't you fold. Big Deltas fill the chart with might. Skinny moves don't make it right. I like big fat candles, can't deny. When the volume surges up so high, skinny trades can take a seat. Big fat Deltas are what I beat. Well, traders, low, let me see that life is good. I'm my happy Delta, skinny, not my taste. Fat candles on my happy place. Oh, traders, let me see that line. When the buyers push, I feel just fine. It's the fat move, no squeeze fake. I'm in this trend with no break. Got entries, stacking tall, no weak signals, I'm all in, y'all. Skinny candles just ain't for me. Big Delta's my golden key. Big Delta's my golden key. Sitting tight while volume pops. Green wave up won't make me stop. Short candles, nope, they're bored. Give me fat Deltas, I want more. Like those thick moves, yeah, yeah. Wanna break through, you know. And hold and play, don't you fold. Big Deltas fill the chart with might. Skinny moves don't make it right. those thick moves, yeah, wanna break through, you know. Then hold, then play, don't you fold. Big deltas fill the chart with might. Skinny moves don't make it right.
Psych. I'm still here. One more trade. I'm in this last trade, so I figured I might as well stick around and see how this trade plays out. Can you guys hear me? Anybody still here? I think 5 of you guys are still here. One last trade. Famous last words. You know, if I can hit my target here, that will actually turn my red day into a green day. So I don't think it's going to make it all the way up there, but it should at least improve my day considerably. Move my stop to break even now. So who's still here with me? Anybody? This is the special after hours stream. For the elite, the few. Encore. All right, we got to tick down from the upper power zone, but our delta's rising, and I'm going to see if I can hold this one. I got my stop at break even, so I can't do any worse than I have already done today. Got my target up here at this order block. If I can hit it, I would turn today into a green day. So, for the record, I got to record it. Because if I came back tomorrow and I'd say, hey, guys, I actually made a 92 point trade right after I got off stream, nobody would believe me. I still think that's maybe being a little overzealous here, but we'll see. We'll see. GC's trending today like NQ did yesterday. Let me check it out. Oh, I hate those kind of trends. Ugh. You see that? That is nasty. It's like, yeah, the price is going up, but the only way to trade this, in my opinion, is to go, like, say you've identified the trend and go long on these. So like if you get a wick there, if you miss it, go to the next one. Boom, you get picked up there, get picked up there. So you miss it, put it here, and just keep doing that all the way up. You will get tagged in. But, you know, trying to take signals off of that can get really nasty. Anyway, back to MNQ. Come on, NQ. We're sitting at VWAP here. We're putting in a lower high on the upper power zone. So I'm going to move my stop up at least. There. Now my stop is under that wick. That will at least give it a chance to go. Can it do it? It's probably going to take me out here. All right. It took me out. Well, at least I improved my numbers a little bit. 13 1/4 on that one. So, where was I at? A minus 85. So, minus 71 3/4. A little better. And I get to add a winner to the board. Oh, sorry. That was a break even. Where's my wins at? What happened to my wins? I must have deleted that line. Anyway. Important numbers up here. Minus 71, 75. You want me to stick around, JWaz? I don't know, man. Today was pretty brutal. We'll see if we can get past VWAP here. I'll stick around for that. As far as winners go, man, was it really just those two that I had earlier? 1, 2. These were like break evens and losses. Yeah, I think it was just those two. So this would be number 3. So I'll go ahead and add my third winner to the stats here. Wins 3, losses 8. There we go. Pedro, in hindsight, would you have done anything different? Let's see. Let's just step through these. So this was a delta squeeze short right here. I didn't take it. I basically just exited my long, but would I have done that different? Probably not. I don't like buying or shorting big candles like that. Let's see what else. Then we got in this consolidation mess. Marking out these order blocks like this and longing those wicks right here, I might have done that differently. That would have worked in those cases. And same with the shorts on the top end. This, I was kind of regretting not taking this higher low right here. Even though it was in the red zone, we had a rising delta. The confirmation line delta were starting to converge. So that was a good higher low entry right here. That would have changed my whole day had I taken that. And, you know, Delta was rising really nicely throughout this whole thing. In here, I probably would have pulled the plug once we started to really taper down here. And, you know, we were already ticking down from the power zone at that point. And we closed under the 8, so I probably would have for sure pulled it when we closed under the 8 there. So I would have added, had I taken that one trade, I would have added 64 3/4 points. Now, this was kind of, you know, these two losses here were not cumulative delta trades. I was trying to trade in the direction of where the delta was going, but I was trying to trade off that order block there. That didn't work. Then I tried catching, what was it over here? Oh, it was this one. That didn't work. So that would have been 2 losses I would have saved had I just been trading cumulative delta signals. Now this right here, I still would have taken longs here. This is still usually a good long setup. It just didn't work out. This is the first hiccup we got from that lower power zone. I wish I would have taken that and been patient on that. I didn't. I was a little gun shy at that point. But had I taken that, you know, even if I just took it to the first tick down from the power zone, that would have added another 62 points. So, you know, between this trade and that trade, that would have been over 100 points right there. That would have changed my whole day around. So, yeah, there's things I definitely could have done better. But, you know, when you lose 3 trades in a row, or in this case, I think one was a break even, but lose 3 in a row, I get a little gun shy, and I don't, you know, the delta looked pretty scary at this point. I didn't want to take that tick up from the power zone. So yeah, there's stuff I could have done better. And it is good to review. Now this, you know, I was talking about trading power zone to power zone at this point. I probably should have taken a short here. Looks like that probably would have ended up in a break even had I taken that, so that wouldn't have changed my day very much. And then this trade at the end here was decent. With this lower high right here, I probably should have just gone ahead and flipped short there from that power zone. Looks like that would have added some points to my day. So does that help? It's always good to review. There's always things that you could have done better. But, you know, overall, today is just kind of a crappy day. It's not really a whole lot. Like if you didn't get this trade and if you didn't get this trade, you're kind of screwed. Looks like we couldn't make it past VWAP there. So I do think I'm going to just go ahead and end it here for real this time. I'm hungry. I'm going to go eat some lunch, and I got a bunch of work I got to get done today. So I'm going to go work on some other things and forget about today, and hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. Any last questions? Yeah, I still find myself doing that, Pedro, where I say, why didn't I take that trade? Like if it's a setup from the playbook, and pretty much every day I say that, you know, and at the end of the day, I always come out saying, you know what, if I would have just taken all the setups in the playbook, I would have been fine. It's when you start picking and choosing which trades you take and which ones you don't, that can kind of get you in trouble. At least me, for, you know, personally, for myself. Maybe your experience would be a little bit different, but typically, as long as you just keep following the setups in the playbook, usually by the end of the day, you should be good. In hindsight, it's easy to see, but in real time, it's tough. So, all right, guys, we'll catch you later. I'm not going to play the song this time. We need to come up with a new song, I think. Maybe that'll be one of the things I work on today is getting a new song put together for you guys. Bitcoin over 100? Really? Yes, it is. Nice. That's going to be good for my trades. At least my crypto's doing well today. So there's always that. All right, guys. Oh, you like the song. Maybe we'll stick with the song. You know what? I'll write a new song. And maybe we can have a vote and see if the new song is better than the old one. Sometimes it's good to switch it up a little bit. Yeah, I agree, Hossein. Well, thanks for sticking around, guys. I appreciate it. Good luck if you keep trading. Yep, you got to just move on. Don't let it get you down too much. As long as most of your days are green, that's what matters. So even the best traders have losing days. All right, guys. Take care.